Well, my friends, as promised, here we are. The explanation of what is a GPS, how we're going to use it, and all kinds of questions that this forum of people are going to give us. We will have a panel that is going to be asking questions in regards to how does a GPS work and the difference between these units that we have and the other units that are in the market. And I'm going to give you to Henry. Henry is actually one of the developers for this program, and he can be a little bit more, giving you a lot more answers in detail. Here you go.
Okay. So basically, how our GPS system works, okay, it's three parts. Okay, you need your hardware, you need our server, and you need the SIM cards. Okay, SIM cards is what gives you the service. Okay, basically our hardware, which we have one right here, is for our vehicles. Okay, this hardware would be installed in a company's vehicle, a personal vehicle, or whatnot, and basically it communicates to our server and reports its location through what's called intervals. Okay, intervals can vary from 10 seconds all the way up to 3 minutes. You know, we could bring it up to like 4 hours, 5 hours. Okay, and the way that it reports to the server is through the SIM card. Okay, if you think of this unit, you think of this unit as a cell phone. Okay, the cell phone makes a call to our server, reports its location so our customers could log in through our portal, okay, and take a look at what's going on, where the vehicle is, what speed it's traveling, what direction it's traveling, if the engine's on or off. Okay, and we have many other features that go with this particular unit. So basically we got the best features that we can find and we put it on our server. Okay, our server is dead easy to use. You go to our website, you go to portal login, you put your username and your password, okay? And then you're gonna go ahead and the screen's gonna show you on the left side, it's gonna show you all the vehicles that you have in your fleet with a giant map of showing what area it is that you're working. So you'll just hit the checkbox on the vehicle you want to track and the vehicle comes up, okay?
Before you get to any other explanation, is this server or this unit the same as other units? What's the big difference between our units and their units, the big boys?
Okay. Well, our units compared to the big boys, okay, if you want to refer to them as big boys, is it's a completely tailored system for every company. Every company is different and every company's needs are different, okay? Verizon, example, will sell you the same system for a cab agency than they will for a tow truck company. And that's not what we do here. What we do is when we go to you, you as a customer, your needs are really important to us. So we ask you questions, and based on those questions, we customize our platform to meet your needs, okay? Intervals. Going back to intervals, what we were talking about is one of the biggest things that we have, okay? Typically on GPS companies give you 5 minute, 2 minute, 1 hour, 3 hours, only on demand intervals, okay? We bring intervals down to we could bring it as close to 10 seconds, okay? Where we could track your vehicle every 10 seconds, okay? Which is a live tracking platform. Okay, if you got to track your vehicle let's put an example on the highway. If there's no traffic, how far can a truck get in 2 minutes? You know, pretty far, traveling at like 70 miles per hour. It's 2 miles. You know, that's about 3 exits. By the time you track your truck and you got to dispatch that vehicle, you know, your truck's halfway down the city. You know, but with our tracking app, if you have it on 10-second intervals, 15-second intervals, you know exactly where that truck is. You have the fastest dispatch time to your customer, which means more money in your pocket. Okay?
And another thing for all of you that are watching us is this video basically is a general video. We will have a video that will probably be posted before this video that will give you a whole overview and every single phase of what a GPS is, what a GPS does, who should have it, who shouldn't have it. And it's going to be a great video, but this one is a video that mainly is going to answer just questions that the people that are in this room will have in regards to the GPS. And we're just going to do an overall view of what our company has, and then we'll go into detail in each and every single unit and what each and every single unit can do. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, I gave you an overview of what the system is and what it imposes. We don't only offer units for vehicles. We offer units for pets, okay? And we offer units for personal use. It works exactly the same. It's basically a system to find things, okay? And the different units give you the ability to go ahead and find different units, whether it's your pets, your elderly, your kids, your cars, your personal cars, your fleet vehicles. And it's all integrated into one system. Whether you have one unit that you want to track or you want to track 1,000 units, okay, it's the same exact system, okay? And it's meant to be easy to track whether it's one unit or 1,000 units. It doesn't matter what it is.
I think one of the biggest issue is that people understand what a GPS is, and it's actually a positioning tool that you receive where the people or your vehicle or your loved one or whatever you're tracking is according to the satellite, and it gives one of these units a signal, and then you find out where they're at. And we're going to get into real detail, and I'm sure they're going to have questions. Do you have a question?
Can you pretty much explain how our system works versus the competitors in a fleet situation?
Okay.
How we can stand ourselves separately from them and what we can offer.
Like I was saying before, we can completely tailor our system to a customer's needs. Maybe the customer doesn't need the 10-second tracking. Maybe the customer needs to track every hour. You know, we have those options available. You know, whereas another system, they'll tell you, okay, well, the maximum intervals that we could track you at is like 5 minutes. Okay. Another thing is going with another company is that also it's your price point is untailored also. You know, whether you need a price point that gives you that 10-second interval or those 5-minute intervals, you know, we can tailor that price point to you, because at the end of the day, when we're talking about fleets, it's a commercial company, like they're for profit. So why wouldn't you be able to tailor that to your needs as far as pricing and then your tracking goes, okay? Now the big companies, like I said, track in like higher intervals than we do, and I think that's really important, because knowing where your vehicle is at is exactly what a GPS system does. You could get on Amazon and probably buy a GPS unit for like $100, but it doesn't come with a service, so you have to plug it into the car, let the car go, okay, and then when it comes back, you got to unplug it and take a look at where it was. That's pointless. We're about live tracking.
And basically, you know, if you're going to say, what's the difference? Well, the difference is the interval time. Number two is the quality of service, the quality of the unit, the speed, okay, and the customized program that you're getting. You're getting a program where, in most of the programs out there, when you open your screen, you have 1,000 trucks. You cannot see your 1,000 trucks. You're going to see one by one. There's a lot of programs that you will see that there is no way that you can track all your vehicles. And in here, you're looking at it and you're tracking all your vehicles at one time, and then you can go and touch in a specific vehicle and look at that, or you can just track that vehicle and live track it, and you will see all the areas where the vehicle has. Plus, we have a whole bunch of custom features that we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
It's the ease of use, okay? Like he said, like some of these companies, you know, you got 1,000 vehicles, and it's really hard right there on that one page to keep those vehicles in line. Not only can you just pick 2 vehicles out of 1,000 or pick 2 vehicles out of 5, you know, you could pick them by category. Like let's say you have tow trucks and you have containers. If you just want to see where the tow trucks are, you can see just the tow trucks. You want to see where the containers are? If you're limited to a certain area, let's make an example of Houston. Like you only work in the Houston region, you'll go ahead and make one checkbox, track all your vehicles, and you want to make sure all those vehicles are in Houston. Maybe you have one truck that's all the way in Dallas. What's that truck doing in Dallas? You know? So that's where the customization and the ease of use really come in.
And another thing that is really, really important, and I find I found this to be one of the best part of our program, is this little thing right here. I would say that 90% of the people that are out there, if they have it, they don't install it because this, for a company that is in business to make money and lots of money, is not convenient. And this little thing here is an SOS button. And in today's era, that is really, really, really important. Why? Because you can get yourself in trouble somewhere, and all you need to do is just hit that button, and your dispatcher, your boss will be communicated, and he will receive an email or a call saying, hey, I'm in trouble. And nobody wants to use this great system only because it wastes data. And we're going to give it to you for free. We're not going to charge you for it. You had another question?
So I wanted to ask the question, versus our competitors, I heard we had our own database and customization of our system to pay attention to detail for every particular client that we're trying to use. Can you explain a little bit of?
Okay. Well, most of our competition uses 2G. Okay. They're starting to come into that 3G phase where we're already here. Okay. The 2G phase right now is becoming obsolete. Example. And these are providers, these are service providers, because the way, like I said, it works with a SIM card, so it works with a cellular carrier. Cellular carriers are botching out their 2G network. By 2016, T-Mobile on its own is taking away 50% of their 2G network in the US. Okay, Verizon's going away at their 2G network all the way up to 2020. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, since we're already ahead, okay, with the 3G system, okay, we don't have to go ahead and change out your units halfway and have an extra charge for you or anything like that. We'll go ahead and have the newest stuff now, because this is technology, you know. This isn't like carpentry or anything like that. Technology is always changing, so we need to keep up with the times. Okay, 2G has been, I mean, I think I had my first phone 2G when it was like 2007. Okay, we're in 2015. Okay, that's 10 years old.
Yeah, that system is a slow system. It's not very accurate system. It doesn't give you a great reception indoors. And it's what it is. It's an old communication system.
Our 3G network allows us to do a lot more than just track your vehicle. We have many add-ons, okay, going from cameras to engine shutoff to PTO connects and disconnects, temperature sensors. You know, we could do all of that at once.
Miles per gallon,
Pressure switches.
the pressure switches. It has a lot of things. Geofencing, which most of the programs have geofencing. Does everybody know what geofencing is?
No.
Okay. What is geofencing?
Okay, geofencing, just to the term geofencing, you think of a fence, okay? You make, basically with our program, you go ahead and you make a fence area, okay? Let's say around your home or your business or a whole city, okay? Or a certain part, a region of the country where you don't want this GPS to go outside, this GPS unit, whether it's your car unit, your dog unit, your personal units, you don't want that to leave a certain area. You create, and it's really easy to make these, you create these geofence areas that as soon as this product reaches the outside of those areas, okay, you'll get a notification. Why is your truck out of the Houston region? Why is your truck out of the Miami region if you only work in Miami? Okay, maybe it's theft. Maybe it's a rogue employee that goes ahead and decides that he could do whatever he wants on his own time.
And another thing that is great is for the people that are sick, people that are have Alzheimer's, have dementia, people that own dogs. You would put a geofencing around your home, and as soon as they break that barrier, then you would get a call, and you will know that they're gone within seconds. And then it's up to you whether you have a good solid interval program that tracks every 10 seconds, or do you have one that tracks every 2 minutes. You will be able to call us and upgrade your plan to go live so you can find your loved one, your dog, or everything else. Imagine if you have a dog on a 3 or 4 minute interval, how far would that dog go from the moment that you last tracked him and he was out the door to the next 4 minutes? If you ever seen a dog smell those flowers and put their head down and start going around, he'll be a mile away in 4 minutes. And then you go to the last place he was and he's not going to be there. So it is important to have a good solid system that we can get the proper intervals so that you can find your people, your loved one, etc. Yes, sir.
I just want to interject that a testimony is one of the most powerful things that you can have, no matter what kind of product you're representing. And I immediately connected with Ernesto when he showed it to me, and the reason being is because I thought about my brother-in-law. He's been a landscaper for 20 plus years, and he had a van. He's a handyman too, so he's got all his tools, power tools and everything. He's got his big major trailer with his equipment, and he was power washing. And while he was power washing to his back, they took the whole vehicle. And they didn't locate it till the following day. Thank God they found the van, but it was empty completely, and the trailer was gone with everything else. So you can imagine if he would have had this, he would have known immediately.
He would have known immediately where it is.
This way. So that's valuable.
He would have known immediately where it is, and he would have been able to call the police, do a live tracking on it, and they could follow that person to where it is. And I really think, the more that I get into this GPS situation, the more that I learn about it, that it has uses for everyone, for the families, for the animals, for the trucks, for the cars. It's something you can use for everybody. Do you have any questions? You have questions?
Are you able to track in any weather condition?
Yes.
Yes.
You have to remember, this system works on two things. It works with cellular and it works with GPS. That's the great thing, the great advantage of these units.
Which being GPS, being with satellites.
Yes.
Yes.
Not like anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm. And now to touch back on the subject of testimony, I've had a personal experience about 3 weeks ago. I had my truck stolen, and my truck has all of the LUNAR labels on it, GPS tracking, live tracking, and what ended up happening is my truck left my house, and I got the alert on it. Okay, when I went to look outside my house, I couldn't see my car. I instantly got on our LUNAR GPS mobile app, okay, and took a look at where the car was. I actually disabled the car. When I disabled the car, the thief ran away. I dispatched the police because I didn't have a vehicle to go ahead and go pick it up. I dispatched the police. Police found the vehicle, and I was able to make it over there in time. This just shows you, this is like a prime example because my car had GPS live tracking on it. Thieves don't care, and they don't care what it is. They don't care if it says live tracking or not. So, and I think that this is a major investment for a company on the good end because, what it costs you is pennies a day. And then when you have an occurrence like this, you suffer a detrimental loss to your company in seconds, or your personal stuff.
And I think that Theo was able to take the picture where when the engine, because what happened is the engine was shut off on the vehicle, and the vehicle was left on a turn right against the sidewalk, and we put it for you guys on the screen. And like he says, it's tremendous because he had all his tools in there, he had everything else in there, and because he had a GPS, he was able to shut off that system and be able to recover his stuff. They didn't have time to do anything.
It worked.
Yes, it worked. Sure it did.
It worked.
It sure did.
And it's not like a testimony. You'd hear like other people give you like a testimony of how it works. I witnessed it firsthand.
That's
right
more
here just a
power.
couple weeks ago. You know? And I designed this.
And it worked.
And it worked.
That's
It helped me out.
I think the one of the greatest thing that our company has is that this program was designed by him together with some other great people, but it has everything that you really want to, and it seems like I'm repeating myself, but it does have everything that you need to be able to take care of your valuables, and that's really, really, really important. And the price is not that expensive. I mean, it's more expensive to have a cellular, well, a lot more expensive to have a cellular than it is to have some of these units. And we keep showing this particular unit right here. And this unit is our main basic unit. There is an upgrade from this, but it's really not necessary unless you're going to put a lot of extras in it. Our program comes with a whole bunch of basics, things that we're going to talk to you about on a different video about all the basic features that it has, unless you guys have questions about it. And we have other units. Like this is the type of unit that you will put on a dog. It cannot go on a Chihuahua, of course, because this unit is a little bit large. And the biggest problem that we have had making units, it has been the battery life. Again, like he said, you can go on Amazon and you can buy a unit that says that this particular GPS lasts 200 hours. Well, it lasts 200 hours as long as it's sleeping. But if you turn it on to be able to track, it will last you about 3 hours. Like this unit here. Great unit, beautiful, square. It has the buttons for the SOS and everything else. But when you turn it on, it's finished. 3 hours and it won't last. But we have units that are tremendous. This big thing right here, which is a lot smaller than my hand, this battery lasts 5 years of tracking. It's not rechargeable. You can throw it away once you're done, but who has a unit that lasts 5 years? And the same way with other units. We have smaller units that you carry, units that you put on your belt, and all of those units are just great, and they all have SOS buttons.
And to touch back on this that you said about, you know, other companies go ahead and offer you and tell you, oh yeah, our products last 30 days of standby time. You know, that's a complete deception. And I believe that here in our company, you know, we'll give you that standby time, you know, but it's useless. So we're giving you the actual operation time based on your intervals. And it goes back to that custom, that tailored service that we offer. Giving you the amount of time that unit lasts on what intervals is really important, because what's important to you is to find your stuff. And how could you find your stuff if you don't have battery power? You know, somebody will give you 30-day standby, but when you actually put it to work, it lasts you 2-3 hours. It's useless. Why would you want to charge something every 2 or 3 hours just to track where it's at? You know, you rather lose it sometimes.
And the other thing that I was talking about when I showed you this particular unit is that if you put it on a Chihuahua, it would be a big unit. But we're not going to give you something that is not worth your money. And we're working on a unit that is going to be small unit, and it's going to give you what you need. But what's in the market right now, if you put it on a Chihuahua, it will be a Chihuahua battery. It will just be finished. And you won't be able to track your dog. So basically, we're talking about that we're gonna rip you off by selling you a unit that really is not the proper unit for your dog. So this is a unit that you can use for a medium dog or a large dog.
You asked a question earlier.
How exactly does it cut off the vehicle if I have it installed in my fleet trucks?
Okay, the way that it cuts off a vehicle is similar to that of a kill switch. Kill switch has been around for a very long time, since the beginning that they started making vehicles. Okay, it's the same exact concept. We go ahead and we cut the power off by shutting down the power to the fuel pump of the vehicle. You know, where we're not damaging the vehicle in any way. We're just cutting off the fuel. It's similar to running out of gas on the car. When we go ahead, and that's installed remotely, and you go ahead and you could shut it off from your cell phone. You could shut it off from your computer or anything. And basically, what it does is it triggers on the GPS on the installation. It'll trigger a switch to turn on the kill switch, okay, and disable the movement of the vehicle, okay. It's really important. Go ahead.
For example, if I have 5 trucks and I don't want them to move over the weekend at all, can I disable them and just prevent people from even starting them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you could disable movement. Let's say you don't work on your trucks the whole weekend. You could disable movement on all 5 of your trucks and then re-enable them on Monday morning at 8 o'clock when everybody comes in.
good.
Because sometimes, you know, this is a lot of problems that companies have are human problems. You know, somebody that has the keys to your truck and needs a truck on Saturday.
Exactly.
You know, what really stops somebody from going over to your yard, turning on the car and leaving with it? It doesn't.
Or using it to move like we have in some cases. You know, the drivers, oh, I'm gonna take my truck, I'm gonna help my Angelito move, and by the time you notice, your fuel has gone, your truck has been used, and you don't even know about it.
So you can prevent vehicles from
even
starting
turning on.
altogether.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yes. It doesn't just mean engine shut off. Doesn't just mean while it's on the road we could shut off the engine. Engine shut off also goes ahead and doesn't let you start a vehicle. Okay.
Another one of the units that we talked about was a personal unit, and it's this unit right here. It's really small. It has your SOS button, and remember, all our units have SOS buttons. And this unit will give you approximate 2 to 3 days of working time. Now on standby, it will give you a lot more. What we're giving you is true working time units. And that is the reason why we don't create something that is too small, because the battery won't last. And we need you to have the GPS if you're gonna pay for something like this.
So the personal unit is rechargeable.
All units are rechargeable.
We only have one unit on our catalog that isn't rechargeable, but the unit lasts 5 years.
That's what we were talking about before, which is this big unit here. And this big unit here is made, it has a couple of purposes. And the purposes is to put them on a container that is traveling around the United States. And as you know, containers have no way of charging a unit because they have no electricity. Or if you want to truck somebody that you're not supposed to, and I wouldn't advise you to do it with the permission of a person, but you can stuck this to the bottom of a car. It has a magnet that is super strong, and it has a button on the top. And when you lock it in, that button is in. If somebody removes it or it drops, which it shouldn't drop because the magnet is tremendous. I mean, you can throw it against a magnetic wall and against a wall that is made of steel, and it will stick in there. But if it drops or somebody moves it, it will let you know with an alarm that the GPS has been removed. And this is the only unit that we have that is not rechargeable, but it has a 5-year life in it, which is tremendous, unheard of. Question, Trini?
Yeah, as far as in the market versus the market, what's out there, what's the competitive edge? Again, I know it was asked before. How do you separate yourself, or what? How would you put it?
Okay. What separates us and I'm going to hit some of the points that I've hit, and I'll add in a couple points. What separates us from the competition is, for one, our tailored services, okay? 2, our battery life on our personal units. 3, which is the most important one and shouldn't have been the third one, is our intervals, okay? Our intervals just destroy the competition when it comes to.
So that they don't have, the competition doesn't have that
They don't
variance?
have that available to give
Take it or
you.
leave it, whatever you got.
Yeah, they'll go ahead and they'll give you one set of intervals because they're big companies, and they want big profits, so they can't go ahead and give you, the price point that you need for the intervals that you need. If you just compare apples to apples on their plans versus our plans are a lot cheaper for the same intervals that they have.
So more economical.
More
It's more
economical,
economical.
Not cheaper.
and the program on the vehicle, that the program is owned by LUNAR GPS. We don't rent our server, we own our server, we made our own program, and that program you can customize, which on the other ones, they have a program they sell you, and that's it. You deal with a program, just like if you deal with a phone. You get this phone and you can't change it. There's phones you can change, like other competition from this phone, and
Well, those are big points right there.
right.
Major.
But those you cannot change. Those programs that they have are standard programs. You use them. You use what they give you. You cannot change or add things to it. And our program, we have so many things that you can add extra to it. Your shut off, your speed control, your miles per gallon, your touch sensors, if they open your hood, if they open your trunk, heat. I mean, it's got a tremendous amount of things that none of them can offer you all of that. And if they do offer you that, imagine they may be selling a 2-minute plan for $39 or $49. Some of the companies out there for a 10-second interval are charging $80 a month.
Well, as a
We're
suggestion,
doing- yes.
as a suggestion, with that being said, then a competitive sheet would be excellent for us, providing as our homework towards the people, right?
It would be. However, there's so many issues to talk about. And if you just touch 2 points, battery, customization, and speed. Those 3 things, nobody can offer you out there.
All at the same time.
We have another thing that's going for us that hasn't been mentioned, okay? Something really important is that our competitors go ahead and they'll use one cellular provider. They'll go ahead and they get the best deal with, let's say Verizon gives them the best deal on their megabyte usage, okay? That's what they're gonna go with because they're mainly there just for profit. It's greedy. It's deceptive. Okay? With us, we tailor everything, including your cellular provider. Because Verizon doesn't have to be the best in the area that you're in. Let's say we're here in Houston, Verizon's really good, but you have a cleaning crew that goes to Galveston. Okay? Maybe Verizon isn't the best option for Galveston, and let's say AT&T is the best option for Galveston. Another company will put you on Verizon both ways. We'll go ahead and we'll switch you out. We'll put you to AT&T or Sprint, depending on what that area, based on what that reception in that area is the best.
And not saying that one company has better reception than others, but it is the truth. There's places, and I carry 2 phones. I carry one carrier and another, and in some areas my phone works better than others, and that's what Henry is saying. And not only that, this goes all over the United States, and it actually goes all over the world. These units will work with a SIM card in Mexico. They will work in Guatemala. They will work in Nicaragua. They work all over the world. Why? Because it works on cell, and as long as there is a cell system in that country, we will be able to provide service in that country. Of course, the charges will change according to the prices of the countries that you're in. But think about it. All your assets will be protected. Your kids, your teenagers, how hard is it to keep track of your teenagers nowadays? Well, you put a unit, you said, hey, you got to have this unit. And the great part about this is that if it's moving, it's working. But if it's not working. So you're going to know if this kid, it's actually hit it, if he knows that you put it in. If you put it in his car and he doesn't know, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But it's a way to control your assets. It's a way to control your family. It's a way to control your work, your fleet. It's a way to be able to spend less fuel because you're telling your drivers, don't go through this area. And another thing is when you have a fleet of trucks and you have your dispatcher out there and your dispatcher has a screen on the wall and he's looking at it and you created a geofencing for him to go from point A to point B. Well, in the middle of that, there is an accident. Well, this program works with traffic. So it will tell you, hey, there's an accident up ahead. So if you don't want that driver to delay for 2 hours, get him off the geofence and put him around that area. So there is so many features that this has that nobody else has, that it will be a tremendous deal. And I do not care how big the company is. This is the best system in the United States.
I have another question.
Yes, sir.
As far as climate-wise, because a lot of this is external stuff, it's set up, it's been
Yeah, you could go ahead and
Hold
put
up.
this in extreme
extreme
weathers.
heat, extreme cold.
As a matter of fact, this unit, you can put it on the water.
Oh, wow.
It's waterproof, and most of them are waterproof. But I know this is, and
Yes.
I know this is. So if you throw your dog in the water, you still find him in the water.
Yeah, or if your dog likes going into the water.
I have a question. Hurtado.
Yes, Hurtado.
Yes, how many sensors does the standard box have? In other words, let's say for a tow truck, will it send a sensor if you put the bed down
Yes.
to load up truck? That way you're not, a guy's doing his side business when he's supposed to be towing for the company.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That sensor specifically that you're talking about for that specific reason is called a PTO sensor. Okay.
PTO?
Yeah, it's a PTO sensor. Basically, it'll tell you if the truck is hooked on or not. Another feature that we have that's really good for like tow truck companies. Okay, not only is a PTO sensor, tells you if it's engaged or disengaged. We have a camera system that you could hook up and point towards the back of the car and see exactly what car it is that they have hooked up. Okay, and those sensors. Basically, there's tons of sensors. There's
Weight.
temperature sensors, weight sensors, pressure switches, ODB sensor, which is another thing that we haven't touched. ODB sensor, an ODB reader is basically where you connect, what you connect. It's a plug that you connect the fault reader for your vehicle to see what faults your vehicle has. You could view those faults remotely from our software, without having to connect an ODB reader. Okay.
Does that mean if your check engine light comes on?
If your check engine light,
you know what's going on with
you
your
know what's
truck
going on.
before it fries the engine, and then you're out more money.
and you know it remotely.
Incredible.
Okay.
Now, I want to make it clear. A lot of these things that Henry's talking about, they're not on the basic system. And their basic system has all of the things we talked about before. Miles per hour, geofencing, your speed,
SOS.
your SOS. It has all of that. But there's certain items that need switches and need special installation. We're talking about fleet and automobile trackers. And those switches and those sensors are extra. They cost money. They cost money to us. So we will give it to you guys at cost. It also uses data. So instead of having a program, it may cost you $3, $4 more, $5 more to have a couple of these things that are so interesting. Like you said, you know, a switch that you can find out what's wrong with your car, a switch that you can find out if somebody dropped the car off and he's supposed to, you know, he's telling you he's working. But those things are extra. And basically, this particular unit that we have here will do up to 3 extra switches. If you go above the 3 extra switches, we will go into a little different unit than this, that it wouldn't make a difference to the consumer, but to you guys it may. It's a little different tracker that will give you the possibilities of adding all of the features. And it's a little bit more costly than this, but you're talking about a few dollars more. It's not really expensive. It's about $10, $15 more.
Price for saving your engine.
Yeah.
It's not at all. I mean, let me tell you, if there is a company that doesn't have GPS systems on their trucks, they really are not protecting themselves, because this thing will, the money that you pay on the service a month for a truck, it'll be well worth it, because it just does so many great things that it's unreal.
I was about to bring that point up. If a company, this no longer, back when, this was a major luxury for a company, okay? It was really expensive. It wasn't as accurate, okay? Intervals were a lot longer. But it was a luxury for your company to have something like this. At this point in time, in 2015, okay, this is a need for a company, okay? If you just do the basic math on what's it's going to cost you a month and multiply it by a year, 3 years, whatever term you have with us, okay, one incident will save you all that money in an instant, okay? Because just in fuel, okay, from, let's say, your idle sensors, okay, meaning if the truck is on and stationary, the system will send you an alert. There's a lot of drivers, and this is going back to like fleets, there's a lot of drivers that'll go ahead, leave the truck on, get off, wait for the truck to be loaded, just to have, you know, AC. They're not in the truck.
Or when they go to lunch.
Or when they go to lunch. They'll leave the truck on. Okay? Just in fuel consumption alone, just in that 1 hour that he went to lunch, that gives you your whole month worth of GPS service. So what makes you think that out of 30 days, okay, he's not going to do that a bunch of times? You might get your cost back for a whole unit in a year. You probably might get that in a couple of days back. Okay, so companies need to see that this isn't money. When we approach them and we tell them, hey, this is how much it is a month, you can't see it as money that you're spending. It's actually money that you're saving, okay? Because you're investing this in order to take care, you know, of
To keep their costs down.
to keep your business in check, okay?
And that-
you need to have basic overview over your business.
And that's where they're keeping up with the technology, because it's just like in the alarm systems, you know, we call it going green, meaning that the thermostats, you know, now you can control them from your phone, you can control lights. You know, why leave an AC unit on for 12 hours and nobody's home?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you shut that down, you're gonna save yourself $30, $35 a month at minimum. Likewise here, you know, it'll pay itself back. It'll pay for itself.
And the example of another industry, you know, and you made a good point with the air conditioning, you know, buying a learning thermometer for your home, okay, is the same thing as buying a GPS unit for your car. Because you'll go ahead and you'll spend, your AC runs, let's say, 12 hours a day on a regular. Those extra, let's say you don't need 12 hours and you can deal with 8 hours of service, and that you're going to have the same temperature when you get home. Those 4 hours add up, you know? So that learning thermometer that costs you so much more money is actually saving you. You get your money back for that learning thermometer by the time that you reach a couple months.
And one of the questions that we had asked was about a unit like this. And a unit like this can be helpful for an older person. And the great thing is that you see in these TV programs that a lady is walking down the stairs and then she stumbles and she goes, oh, I fell and nobody's here to help me. Let me press my SOS button. Well, this does the same thing, with the exception that it has a tracker. It has all the features that we've been discussing about geofencing, about programming, about everything else. And it has this little red button on the end right here where the person can go ahead and press the button, and she has the same identical features of, oh, I fell. What's going to happen is she's going to press the button. The people are going to receive a SOS signal saying somebody has a medical issue or somebody, whatever the issue is, they will receive an email or a call saying your family member is in trouble, or if we program it, which we'll customize the program, the name of the person has fallen or is in trouble or whatever the situation is. And this is a great tool, and it's going to cost you less than the units that are out there, and it's a GPS tracker, it's waterproof, and it has all the benefits of any other unit. Do you have any questions?
Can you program it to call a loved one instead of the authorities or the...
Yes. Most of the calls will go to loved ones rather than authorities, because the loved one will know what to do. There may be a neighbor next door. Rather than have the police come out, the fire department coming out, it can go to a mom and a dad or a daughter or a son, and they will know, hey, let me call the house. Nobody answers. But you have an SOS. So that SOS means that she's in trouble. So you may be able to call the neighbor while you're on your way home and say, can you look up on my mom? I think something is wrong. Or if she's not home, you still, because some of these units work on Wi-Fi. They work while you're inside the house. Am I correct?
Yes.
So this unit is working with the same thing, GPS and phone tracker. So while she's outside, she can still fall, and you can still call, somebody, or go find where the GPS is telling you that she fell. And also you have the geofencing that as soon as she walks out, you're still going to get a text message or a call, whatever you decide to do, that my mom, my aunt, Maria, Mr. Williams, whatever the situation is, has crossed the geofencing and is now on the loose. And that goes the same thing for your animals and everything else.
It would be interesting if you could adapt a shock sensor in there, or if it has one.
A shock
Because you can
sensor.
feel it fall.
It kind of, I mean, it doesn't
It kind of does. Go ahead.
Basically, what it has is it's a wake up feature for it. You could throw on the shock, but the SOS button, you don't want it to go off every time. Like, let's say she just drops it, But the SOS feature works regardless. You could use it as a phone call or a text message, and we could customize it to be the text message to say whatever it is that you want it to say. The SOS feature works when the button's pressed. It could be anywhere. It could be inside a house, outside a house. It doesn't matter.
The reason I say that is because maybe the person passed out, they fell, and how are they going to press a button? They have a shock sensor. It could alert your loved one that the unit fell. Maybe you need to call them and see what's going on.
That will be something that we may be able to look at in the future. But you have to remember, Grandma is walking down the stairs. She's moving. She fell. She dropped. And she couldn't press the SOS button. But if you keep track of Grandma, you will notice she's not moving, because the sensor that is in there is showing you that she ain't moving. So that may be a help.
But you don't want to be tracking everyone all
Oh,
the time.
I agree. But, to put that kind of a sensor, again, like Henry says, if you drop it or if you do anything, it starts sending false alarms, and then you really don't know when you really need it, which is that moment when she has a problem. Now, if she knocks herself out, then yes, that is a problem. But when she does come through, she still has the SOS button to deal with.
Is that particular unit the only type for people?
No. you have that unit, you have this unit. That one is waterproof, this one is not waterproof. This is a lot smaller than an iPhone, for example, okay? Then you have this unit that you can put in a belt, inside of a belt, and there's another unit that I didn't bring with me to this meeting that is smaller than this, and it has a clip in the back, and you wear it as a clip. This one you can wear around your neck,
Yeah.
or you can wear it in your pocket, or you can wear it in a clip.
Yeah, this unit itself has a hook for a lanyard,
Okay.
so you could go ahead and just ring it around
Perfect.
something and just have it. It's a wearable. Okay, it's wearable technology.
I think we have answers a lot of questions for all of you today. And I don't know if, Trini, do you have any other questions that you would like to ask?
Other than how soon are we gonna be able to start?
Okay,
How soon the production gonna be ready?
production is ready. The only problem that we have is software. On these units, which are the automobile units, they're ready. As a matter of fact, when we get through here, he's gonna go with our friends here that are interested in finding out how they can install a unit, and he's gonna go show them how you can install a unit. So this unit and the upgrade to this is ready. You can go out and sell it tomorrow, which is the automobile units.
Yeah.
Our personal GPS, we have to do some programming adjustments. The units are ready, okay? So that you can start talking about them. These units are gonna work on a different system as the automobile units, okay? This needs a lot more power and a lot more sensibility because it's moving constantly. This, and unless you have one of those Superman guys that just go, this needs less power. And to put it on the same program as the one that we have for the automobile will not be very smart because it will slow it down our other system. So this will have their own system so that they can be used without a problem.
This system's already ready to go. We have the apps, we have the servers up, the server's running, okay?
There's a
So
lot of units
everything,
being
yeah.
tracked in my app.
We have, this system's already done. Now, we're working on just programming, I'm finishing up on the final touches on the software that's gonna be running with this, okay? But these are ready to sell, right out the box, okay? And, they're ready.
They're here, and the units are here. The units have arrived.
And the default is separate from that, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have two different logins. One's gonna be like an enterprise, really for the vehicles, and then we're gonna have our personal server. Okay, so the customer is gonna be able to, when we explain that to the customer, we'll show them how to log in and stuff like that, and we'll show you guys how to tell the customer, you know, how to use.
Yeah, you have
your system.
two log areas, one for personal animals and whatever valuables you want to do. And then the other one will be for your fleet and automobiles. Because one is a faster, it's necessary that it's faster. And the other one, if you put it into the faster one, it's just going to crumble all over the place.
Yeah.
But we're working on it. It will be just a matter of maybe 10 days before we have the units up and running.
We separated them based on stability. You know, it's easier to separate, you know, the vehicles from the personal units because it's two different pieces of technology. Okay, two different battery, two different data sources. So, but we'll have that up and running real soon. But again, vehicles are ready. You can sell them tomorrow.
Well, do you have a set price on these or what?
Yeah, we'll talk about the price. We'll have a price sheet for you
Okay.
guys in the next few days. But really, mainly I wanted for you guys to have a knowledge of what, everybody knows what GPS is. It's this little thing up in the sky that communicates with this other little thing down here. But we wanted you to know a little bit more about our GPS system versus everybody's GPS system, and to let you know, it may be that this video is a little long, but for you to be able to absorb his knowledge and my knowledge of these things, it would take a little while for you to do it. Mainly it's kind of a training video, you can say, for people that want to learn about GPS and for you guys that are going out there to sell the GPS. And with this, I leave you. I want to thank you for letting us in and for watching us. And we will have other videos that will be coming on this week. And thank you. Have a great night or day or whatever you're on. Bye-bye.
All right.
To receive a free brochure or more information, please call 844-273-5169. Again, 844-273-5169, or visit our website at lunargpsforall.com.